So the mangoes right now are blooming, and blooming big time. We've just got lots and lots of gorgeous bloom, and we hope that that bloom translates to fruit. It would be lovely to have a really nice year for mango fruit. But you might notice that while we have lots of bloom here, right next door, there's this big healthy tree with no bloom at all. And it seems like that might be two trees. It's hard to tell here, but yeah, it's two trees that are on strike for blooming or something. And then over here, there's this rather large tree that I discovered just a little while ago. This one's very tall and also no bloom at all. And all of these trees have been grafted, but the scions for most of the trees in this part of the grove were not from trees that had already fruited. So when you harvest a scion from a seedling tree that hasn't fruited, of course it's going to take longer for it to fruit. But my goodness, this is way long. And so earlier today, when I noticed how large and how not full of flowers this tree was, I thought it's a good opportunity to trim it. We don't want our trees to be really tall, and because there's no flowers at all on this tree, it's really not going to interfere with our fruit supply at all for this year. And hopefully next year this tree will get its act together and produce a lot of fruit. But it really wasn't going to happen this year at all. So I've been cutting some branches. All of them are significant size. It's a very vigorous tree, and I do want to cut a few more of those bigger branches. I brought the big ladder over here, so got my tools, got the ladder, and see if I can get the rest of this tree down to a more manageable size. So I've got more to cut, but I think you get the idea. It's definitely a time to be bold with cutting it back because it will grow a lot before next year, and we want it to not be a giant tree when it flowers next. So I'm going to cut the tall stuff in the back and probably cut back some of these other branches a little bit more, but there's no fruit loss, because since this tree is just pushing out new growth, no flowers anywhere. The flowers that we see over here is actually from another plant. So this tree will have a good chance to send out new growth and have that mature and hopefully make fruit next year. So at this point in the season, we've had two major bloom cycles triggered by the weather. It's now warming up. It's very doubtful that we'll have another cool snap that's cold enough to trigger a third flowering. So it's safe to cut back these trees that haven't flowered at all. They will have very mature growth by the time that we hit the cool weather next year, and hopefully they will produce flowers and fruit for 2026.